Okay. Are we live? Let me double check here just to see if everything's coming through for you fellas, but I think we should be. Let me see. I think my sound is coming through correctly for you. Okay, yeah, it is. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I can see that Fitz was there, had to leave to take care of your children. That's very nice, Fitz. I didn't know you were a dad. Nice, you're a great dad. Leo is also there, and Cool Brazilian Guy, hello there. Ramses, Sofek, how are you doing, fellas? Today we are at the Miami server. As you can see, I've posted a message there on chat, a pinned message. And also you can see the IP here and up there in the corner. The IP we're playing on is also in the description down below of the stream, so you can copy it from there as well. Then all you have to do is come here in the game. Let me just connect, because I just connected to the server. Then all you have to do is come here in Find a Game, Community Servers, and then on the Favorites tab, there's this button here, Add a Server. Then you paste in the IP here, and you can connect. It will appear in this box for you to connect. I'm already here with a bunch of cool people. Let me just see if I can find them. We are on Egypt, but I don't know if we'll be here for a lot of time. Let me get to the point so we can catch up with everyone. But feel free to connect, there's a lot of room. We have this heavy here, also Spy Crab on my team. I know Uncle Leo and Minktory are also here, which are some regulars on the streams. Dark Knight as well, and this soldier, I don't know who it is. Okay, I'm gonna die to this heavy. Let's die with honor. If they... Oh no, Minktory didn't shoot! I thought you were gonna shoot Minktory. You didn't shoot me. It's okay, my friend. Yeah, Minktory is there on chat. And also Dark Knight, glad to have you here, my friends. Very nice. Dr. Kebab will be joining in 10 to 20 minutes. I hope you can do so, Dr. Kebab. It will be a lot of fun. And I'm doing well as well, Ramses. I'm glad you're doing fine. It's just, it is very hot here in Brazil right now, in the Brazilian southeast. That's where I live, in the state of São Paulo. It is very, very hot. You know, summer, we are in at the middle of summer here. Oh no, don't wanna die to that heavy like this. No, stop that, Minktory. Was this always here? This thing here? Was it always here? For a sec there, I thought I was caught here in a bug or something like that. I don't remember this platform here. Do you fellas remember if this was always here? I'm not sure, actually. Hey, Dark Knight's dancing there. Very nice. Let's dance to Dark Knight. But as I was saying, it is very hot here because we are at the middle of summer. So, aside from that, I'm doing very well. I'm not a summer person, you know. I prefer winter. Because winter here in Brazil, for us Brazilians, it is very cold. But we actually have kind of mild temperatures, you know. It doesn't snow, for example, here where I live. Minktory is just to joke around. No, Minktory, I wanna play. Okay. Doesn't this taunt kill? It's not a taunt kill, is it? I always thought it should be a taunt kill, that one of the punches. Oh well, go figure. So yeah, I'm doing fine, Ramses. All that just to say that. And Joker Miles there, hello there, Joker Miles. Watching our live streams on the hotel on Santo Antônio do Pinhal. Ah, that's very nice, Joker Miles. Santo Antônio do Pinhal is kind of like a mountain city here in Brazil, a touristic city in the mountains that people go to enjoy. Again, there's no snow, but the weather there is a lot cooler than in my town, for example. What is Dark Knight doing? Are you changing spawn positions, my friend? What's happening there? And also, Joker Mario, Santo Antônio do Pinhal, that town is close to my hometown. I live in Taubaté. We are like an hour away, I think, in terms of driving distance. Very interesting, Joker Miles. Very nice. Minktory there asking how I'm doing. Thankfully, I'm doing fine, man. I'm just feeling the summer heat, but I'm doing fine. And Leo and Misa saying there, all hail to the mighty Linux. Yeah, for sure, Linux is the best. The internet, I got you there, Abby Camargo. The internet, come on, I wanna see this fight, come on. No, they are not gonna fight like this. Let me leave those two to fend for themselves. But yeah, you know, Linux is what makes the internet possible, actually. Most web infrastructure runs on Linux machines. For example, YouTube servers, they don't run on Windows, they all run on Linux. So yeah, the mighty Linux. I didn't know there was that penguin emoji here on YouTube. Looks pretty cool. What is it, an emperor penguin or something like that? Linux gang, rise up. Yeah, Linux is the best, the best. you are funny, fellas. Ramses is from Rio de Janeiro. Ah, that's very fine, Ramses. It must be very hot there. I know that Rio is a very hot city. I've been there, I think, once or twice in my life, and every time it was insanely hot. Let's try to kill the spy here. I don't think the spy is here anymore. Okay, and we won. Very easy to win Egypt like this when there's not a sentry here or up here, for example. So yeah. Ramses is saying this. Sandman is the best scout bet, guys. Trust me. I don't think so, Ramses. This is a lot of fun, but it's not the best one. People want to play my map, Cough Seas. Let's do this. That's a good map. And I don't say that because I made it. I say that because it is actually pretty fun to play on. Let's do this. Seas is a fun map. I think it's gonna go through this one here. And Victory also loves Santo Antônio do Pinhal. Yeah, it is a lovely town to visit, for sure. There's a lot of, for those of you who are not from Brazil, I think that Brazil is kind of like remembered for its coast. You know, cities like Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Florianópolis, you know, the coastal part of Brazil. It's kind of like the most remembered part when it comes to tourism. But there's a lot of cool things to do on the countryside, not only on the coast. And Santo Antônio do Pinhal is one of those towns in the countryside, on the mountains. That's very interesting to visit. It's a small town, you know, it's kind of like a mostly rural area, but there's a lot of nature tourism and that sort of stuff. It's very good for just relaxing and chilling, you know. There's also another one close to where I live and close to also Santo Antônio do Pinhal, where some of you are, it seems. That's called Campos do Jordão. That's also a very good town to visit. They make some very good chocolate there. I was gonna whip the soldier, ended up killing you, Uncle Liu. I'm sorry, they didn't mean to whip you, my friend. I'm sorry, that was funny. That was very funny, my friend. So if you are from abroad and you ever want to visit Brazil, consider also coming to some more, you know, to the countryside, not only the coast of Brazil. Because there's a lot of good stuff to see. For example, I know that Tocantins is a Brazilian state that has a lot of forest parks. Mato Grosso do Sul as well, I think. You know, it's very good. So interesting to know you fellas are there. Very nice. What else are you saying there? Let me see here. Ploppy is saying there, I really look like you. Ah, that's interesting, Ploppy. How cool is that? Do you also have a kind of like a mustache, a beard, something like that? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And VPC is there. Hello there, VPC. Glad to have you here. Come play with us if you have the time. I don't know if you are already on the server. And also, I have unbinded my tab key. I don't know if you fellas remember, but last stream, I was crashing. For whatever reason, when I died and I pressed tab. And I have that habit of whenever I die, I press tab to check on my score. You know, it's a bad habit. I think it's kind of stresses me out sometimes. And I'm gonna make a video on that topic. Because I feel like ever since I unbinded tab to see the score, I have been playing more relaxed. You know, even more than I already am. Because there's really no pressure to perform when you don't check your performance. You know, you don't know how you're doing. So you don't really stress out like that. Kind of like, oh, I've died X number of times, I'm doing very poorly, you know. When you don't check the scoreboard, you don't feel that pressure anymore suddenly. So it was something I did to avoid crashes, because I don't know if the latest update bugged the game for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is the HUD mod that I use, because I use the default HUD, but I use a mod with improvements to the default HUD. It kind of like fixes some stuff for it. Okay, I want to kill that scout. Let's jump here. Gotta be careful because there's a pit of lava underneath here. I put this here intentionally so people would fall on it. It's always funny when a map has environmental hazards, I think. But yeah, the game was crashing for me whenever I would tab while dead, you know, right after being killed. Kind of like this. If I press tab right now and open the score, it would crash, it seems. So I have unbinded tab, so that's why I don't know who exactly is playing with me here. I can only pay attention to the names on screen. And as I was saying, VPC is here with us, very nice. As I was saying, that was a very good thing for you know, making me play more relaxed. And I'm gonna make a video about that. Kinda like, this one tip will make you enjoy TF2 more, or something very clickbaity like that, you know. Ragdolls are so funny. Playing TF2 Ragdolls is the best. I used to play with a performance config that would disable Ragdolls, and I would get more frames per second, but it wasn't as funny, you know. So yeah. I'll check what you're saying in just a sec, fellas. Just let me try to finish off the scout here. He's gonna escape. I got you there, nice. And I don't know if I can say that, because, you know, it may sound pretentious, but I really like the layout of this map here, the one I made. It's Cough Seas, we were talking about it earlier. It's very compact, but I think there is kind of like a diversity in the areas, you know. It's very bare bones as well. The decoration is nothing special. I don't think, for example, this is a map that is ready to be added into the game, because it's very bare bones. But I really like the layout, you know. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, what else are you saying there? Let me see. Misa is asking, what hardware specifications do you have? It seems to me that TF2 runs actually better on Linux. Yeah, it actually does, Misa. I think not only TF2, but also CSGO and Dota 2 run better on Linux than they do on Windows. I saw some benchmark from a website called Phoronix. I think that's how you pronounce the name. It's a benchmark website that does a lot of Linux stuff. And they benchmarked a while ago TF2, CSGO and Dota 2 on Linux. And all those games run better on Linux. You get more frames per second. You know, on some hardware specifications you can get stutters here and there depending on your GPU and processor. But generally you get better performance on Linux with those three games. I use Arch Linux, so I use Arch, by the way, that's my distribution. My CPU is a Ryzen 5 1600, you know, it's starting to get old now, a Ryzen 5 1600. And my GPU is, I think, an RTX 2060, which is the newest piece of hardware on my PC. I bought it, I think, last year. You know, pretty good GPU, and everyone says that NVIDIA GPUs are bad on Linux. Kind of like there is this understanding. For those of you who are not familiar with it, there's this understanding in the Linux community that's better to have an AMD GPU for Linux because the drivers are better for it. But I've been using NVIDIA for Linux, I think for 6 or 7 years now, and I never had problems really. On Ubuntu, which is another Linux distribution, sometimes it would bug the NVIDIA drivers and I would have to reinstall them. But even then, it was not a big deal, you know. And ever since I switched to Arch, it's been very... Oh no! Okay. No, I'm not gonna... I can't try to jump this because Dark Knight's gonna get me. Yeah, now I can do it. Okay. But yeah, you know, ever since I started using Arch Linux, I haven't had any problems with NVIDIA drivers. So, it's pretty good, Misa. Highly recommend you fellas try Arch Linux. You know, it's just that you have to kind of research a little bit because it's not very user-friendly. But it's not hard at all, you just have to learn what you're doing. And it's a great distro. So that's what I'm running right now. I have, I think, 16 gigabytes of DDR RAM, I think, of RAM, DDR4 RAM. So yeah. And Ramses is saying, I'm lucky to have an air conditioner on my room. I also have one, Ramses. It's one of those portable air conditioners, you know, that you kind of like have a duct that you connect to your window. It's not the best, you know, those ACs aren't the best ones. But it does the job. It's just that I don't really like using it because it makes a lot of noise, so for streaming it's not ideal. And also because air conditioning kind of like it's bad for my nose and throat, you know. I always get kind of, I don't know what's the word for it in English. My nose gets irritated. I think you fellas can understand what I say. That's a funny pose there, Uncle Liu. that's a funny pose for sure. But yeah, my nose and throat get irritated whenever I use air conditioning. So usually I don't turn it on. I prefer to use a fan to cool off. A lot of funny ragdolls. I may be able to cut some pretty funny shorts. Some pretty funny shorts from this stream. It will be a lot of fun. It will be nice. I wanna do that later. Okay, I'm not gonna try to jump. Maybe no. Okay. The Dark Knight has to stay a bit further back if he wants to air blast me like that, because I think the force of the air blast is enough to send me back into the correct spot, so I don't fall down. But yeah, there's a spy here. Ah, come on. Okay, people got the spy there. Ah, come on, you're less great. No, and Uncle Liu finished me off. So yeah. Yeah, and Uncle Liu's asking there about Linux distros. I use Arch Linux, Leo. And for a Linux beginner, I would say you should try Linux Mint, Pop OS, or Zorin OS. You know, I think those three are good beginner distros. If I had to pick only one, I would say Linux Mint. You know, it's sort of like regarded as one of the best Linux distributions out there, and it is very beginner friendly. So Linux Mint is great. I highly recommend it. Hey, Hovi is there. Hello there, my friend Hovi. Nice to have you here, my friend. Always nice when you show up here on stream. Come play with us if you have the time. It will be a lot of fun, Hovi. Always nice to play with you on the server. By the way, Hovi, I'm already setting up the new animation you made for me to use on my projects, on my videos. Thanks a lot, I really liked it. It's excellent. If you fellas need an animation, commission Hovi there, because he's a very talented animator, you know, does some pretty good work. I have to remember to use the Righteous Bison. I'm not using it for anything. Okay, oh no, this is bad. 2 scouts. There was no way I would get out of there like that. So yeah. And cool Brazilian guy is saying there, the only reason I don't use Linux is because most of my gaming hardware doesn't work with it. But I really like the performance compared to Windows 10 and 11. Yeah, no, it's generally lighter in terms of performance, you know, it's less bloated, I think. Not all Linux distros are less bloated than Windows, but most are. And that's why you generally have a snappier desktop experience on Linux than you do on Windows, for example. In terms of hardware compatibility, unless you have, cool Brazilian guy, something very different or very, you know, exotic in terms of hardware, it should be plug and play, you know. Nowadays, with the most modern distros, most hardware works out of the box. You don't really have to do anything special to make it work, really. But every PC is a different PC, so you have to check that. I know that, for example, some motherboards have problems with Linux, with the sound modules and the Wi-Fi modules in particular. And there are, I think, some notebooks that can't run it correctly. I mean, Minter got you just before my team lost. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, what else are you saying there? Let me see. Freitas, hello there, Freitas. Welcome to the stream. Very nice to have you here. And Ramses got the PC shut it down suddenly. It's turning it on again. That could be, Ramses, a temperature problem. You know, usually when PCs shut off without warning, you know, by surprise like that, it is because of temperature problems. Your CPU could be overheating, for example. So check that out if you can. Ah, the spy got away. He's gonna loop around, I think. Let's see. Where are you? I think it's that pyro there. Yeah. Got you, Mr. Mista. I'm paying attention. Let's take this route here. I put this area on the map mostly for spies and scouts to be able to flank the other team. It is also good for snipers, I think, because you can get a good snipe on the middle point, like this. See, people don't really expect you to arrive from there. Let's spam the Righteous Bison just to buy some time. And there's that spy again. And the scout. Okay, gotta pay attention so I don't fall prey to the spy, because he's just gonna wait until I am distracted. Here's Dark Knight with his pyro. Let's use the Righteous Bison here. Righteous Bison is a good one against pyros. They don't know what to do really, because it is a projectile, but they can't air blast it. It kind of confuses them. And I say this because it happens to me when I am playing pyro. I kind of get confused whenever I get a Ponson or a Righteous Bison projectile shot at me. So that's I think a plus of those weapons. Okay, got the mini sentry there. And Uncle Leo's effects are very stylish, but at the same time they kinda telegraph where you're gonna be. So I almost died there, 1 HP. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Sofek saying, my friend gifted me my first strange item, it's the Mercs Mohawk. Ah, that's a very good strange cosmetic, Sofek. Very nice of your friends, very, very cool gift. I hope you enjoy it. That's great. And Leo is asking about free and open source software for content creators. You and Misa need some advice about Linux, or either that or you want me to talk about Linux to kind of like hype up Linux, which is always nice. I really like doing that. So in terms for open source software for content creators, I think there's kind of like 4 software suites that I would recommend. The first one is Open Broadcaster Studio. It is the software I think almost every professional creator uses to record gameplay and to record the screen and all that good stuff. Open Broadcaster Studio. It's available for all platforms, for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux. For editing the videos, I recommend Kdenlive with a K. Kdenlive. It is a great video editor. It's the one I use. You know, it's not perfect, and it has some features missing in comparison to paid video editors. You know, that you can't do everything on Kdenlive. But generally, it is good enough. It's what I use for both my channels, and a lot of people use it as well. So it's a great video editor. Free and open source, you don't have to pay anything for it, and also runs. I think it has a version for Mac, but I'm not sure. But I'm sure it runs on Windows and Linux and runs great on those platforms. So it is excellent. Another one from the list, so I said 4 and I talked about 2. The third one I would say is very important is Audacity. Audacity is an audio editor, you know, for working with your audio clips, you know, voiceovers and stuff like that. It is also free and open source and very easy to get up and use, so highly recommended. It's the one I use as well. And the last one I say is essential in terms of free and open source software for content creators is GIMP. I think it means GNU Image Manipulation Program. I think that's what it's called. But it's the short name is GIMP. And it is kind of like a Photoshop clone, you know. It is a software, an image editing software, you know. And very good as well. Those free and open source software, sometimes people kind of like talk bad about them as saying as if they're not as good as Photoshop. Rob is here! Hello, my friend! I'm glad you connected. So yeah, sometimes people talk bad about those softwares, saying they're not as good as the paid stuff, and maybe they are not as good, but they are good enough, and the paid stuff is so expensive. Because either you pirate those paid softwares, or you actually pay for them. And both options, in my opinion, are kind of bad. Because first, because they are very expensive, so I don't think, for example, paying to use Photoshop is worth it. And second, piracy. That pyro ragdoll was great. Piracy is kind of like, I understand why it exists. Sometimes people don't have another alternative. But it's kind of trashy, you know, to pirate software. I'm not really a fan of it. In the past, I have used pirate software before, but I'm not for it, you know, nowadays. I think we have the free and open source alternatives that we can use, so we don't really have to pirate anything. And also, we don't really have to give Adobe a lot of money just to edit some thumbnails, you know, that sort of thing. So those are the ones I would recommend. Open Broadcaster Studio, Kdenlive, Audacity, and GIMP. With those 4 programs, you can manage a YouTube channel. You know, even a professional one. Unless you are doing kind of like movie tier, you know, cinematic tier stuff, you don't need anything else other than that. And even on the free and open source side of things, maybe not open source, but on the free side of things, there's also DaVinci Resolve, which is a free video editor, and it's great. You know, it's high tier, people from Hollywood even use it. So it is a great video editor. If you don't want to use Kdenlive, which I prefer because it is easier to use, you can try using DaVinci Resolve. It runs on Windows, Linux, I think there's a Mac version. It's kind of hard to set it up on Linux, but it works, you know, you just have to set it up properly. And those are the ones I would recommend. Thank God for free and open source software, you know. It's one of the best things we can have as a community of content creators. Okay, here's the spy. And I almost died to that mini sentry there. Let's see if I can shoot it down. Yeah, I managed to shoot it down, but I died to the mini sentry. I thought I died to the sniper, but it was to the mini sentry. Okay, no problem. It happens. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Dark Knight saying there, the Demon Knight tried to get me and fell on the lava pit, lol. the lava pit on this map is so fun, it is great. I have here Hovey and Handman taking care of their miniguns. Nice, very nice. Very nice. Go, Handman, let me help you. Let's do this. Let's do this once more, Handman. Let's go, let's go, let's go. A while ago we got a sniper, I think, with this static. Let's see if I can help Handman get another kill with it. Go, Handman, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. But yeah, the lava pit is a great addition to this map. I think that Demon Knight's Dark Knight. He's running away! No, Dark Knight, fight! Fight like the demo man you are, don't run away. Yeah, he's just gonna run away. Let's do this, Handman, you can do this. Go get him. No, we are not gonna reach him. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, Handman. Fight for your life now. Make me proud. Go, get the sniper. And he killed me. No, avenge me, Handman. Yeah, he managed to avenge me. I just saw that he killed both Mr. Mista and Uncle Leo there. Thank you very much, my friends. It turned out to be great. To be very nice. Hey, and Inspector is there. Hello there, Inspector. Glad to have you here. Good afternoon to you. I hope you are doing fine. Always nice. I miss saying about PC hardware. I have an RTX 2062, but I didn't want to use Linux on my main PC because of that NVIDIA card. If it runs good for you, I will try to install it. Yeah, you know, for me it's great. I don't know how it would be with a 2-monitor setup, for example. Because I know sometimes with NVIDIA cards, setting up 2 monitors is a hassle. You know, it can be done and well, but it can also be a hassle. I've heard that from people. I have a secondary monitor, but I don't use it plugged in on my main PC. I use it plugged in on my notebook. And my wife also uses it on her PC because it's on the same desk. But on a single monitor setup, it's very simple, plug and play, you know. Just make sure you read up on how to install the proper drivers for your distribution. And look for up-to-date information, because there's a lot of guides on the internet about installing drivers on Linux. And some of them are very outdated, kind of like guides from 2015. You don't want to use those. Nowadays, usually it is just plug and play and tick a box on your settings or something like that. On Arch Linux, I had to install the drivers through the terminal with terminal commands, but it was very easy as well. I just had to look up on the Arch Linux wiki how to do that, and the solution was already there for me. You know. So look it up, Misa, for up-to-date information on how to do that. But it's very easy, and the GPU runs great here on my system. It was a very good purchase, actually, this RTX 2060. Highly recommend it. Even nowadays, I think you can get it discounted somewhere, because it's not the newest model, you know, the newest lineup for NVIDIA anymore. And you probably can find it discounted, and it's an excellent GPU. It's very good. So yeah, what else are you saying there? Let me see. VPC is saying, I'm considering installing a Linux distro now that I bought an SSD. The experience wasn't as good with a hard drive disk. I used to have a good experience with my disks, VPC, you know. But yeah, and SSDs are a lot better for sure. Again, if you fellas are new to Linux and you are interested on trying it out or, you know, installing it, I would highly recommend Linux Mint. Again, I think it's a good starting point, and there's a large community of Linux Mint users. So if you need help, all you have to do is go to the Linux Mint forums and ask people, you know, around for help and all of that. So it's fairly easy to get some sort of support. That was a good flip. Some sort of support with Linux Mint. So yeah. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Daryl Dixon, hello there, Daryl. Come play with us. And Hovi saying, I'm glad you like the animation. If you want me to change anything, let me know. Nah, it's perfect, Hovi. I really like it. It's just what I wanted. The still picture of the soldier you rendered for me, that one I don't think I'll be using. You know, I think the one I have currently kind of like is a better mood for me. But the animation itself and the background you rendered for me, I'm gonna use. So thanks a lot. That was great. Very nice. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Inspector is saying, I came here to happily inform that I got my first 6 dominations in one live. Best part is that I did it in my first time in a Peruvian server. Ah, that's very nice, Inspector. Congratulations. It's not every day. Free and open source. You see, Misa is free and open source. Very nice, my friend. Very nice. But yeah, it's not every day that you get 6 dominations in one life. That's quite an achievement. There's even gotta be an achievement for that. Isn't there? An achievement for getting so many dominations in one life. I think there should be. Very nice. Pretty cool. Jaime is saying there, hey professor, it's been a while and I've took some time to focus on some personal stuff. I'm excited to share some of that stuff during this stream as I've got a couple of physical items this time. Ah, that's very nice, as in physical collector's items. Nothing with TF2 this time. Ah, that's very interesting, hey man. What are you collecting right now? Let us know. I have a collection of, here in Brazil we call it Tazos. You know, it's a collection of pogs. I think that's the international name of them. You know, those cardboard discs that used to come with... I don't know how it is abroad, but here in Brazil they were given out with snacks, you know, in a package. It's a very small collection, nothing special, but I have some pogs I cherish, you know, kind of like 5 or 6 of them. I used to have a lot when I was a kid, but over the years I lost or gave away, you know, and now I have 5 or 6, I think, pogs, and I have that collection. I really liked it. I also have a coin collection, you know, and a printed money collection, you know, paper money, from several countries and also from different times in Brazil. So I have coins, I think, from the 1800s even. I got some coins, and I really like that. It's a nice collection I have. Ah, come on, Dark Knight. How much health do you have? And you are dead now. Yeah, you paid in blood for that taunt. So yeah. I remain saying there, I've been collecting old school iPods, as I have a strange feeling that they are just about to become collectible. I loved my 7th generation ever since I picked it up, and I'm normally not an Apple guy. Ah, that's an interesting collection to have, hey man. I agree with you. I think iPods are gonna be the next, you know, Walkman, because Walkman are very collectible. I heard, you know, the old Walkman models. So I think you're probably right in thinking that iPods are gonna be collectible as well. That's a smart move, hey man. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I miss saying there, I have had Linux Mint 20 and it had problems with the graphic cards on my notebook, but it got patched in the latest update, so now it works great. Yeah, you know, the thing with Linux Mint, the only problem I have with it is that it's kind of like outdated. Because Linux Mint is supposed to be a more stable distribution. Yeah, you kind of like have the bleeding edge technology in Linux, and Linux Mint is a step behind that to be more stable, you know, to avoid bugs and that sort of stuff. So sometimes there's kind of like a new model of hardware that doesn't work on it, but as soon as a new version rolls out, it usually runs very well. that taunt is so great. I really like it. I don't think I saw it before in the game, but it's a very good taunt. Very nice, very nice. But yeah, that's why I switched to Arch Linux actually, because I wanted to be on that bleeding edge, you know, to get the latest patches as soon as possible, because Arch is like that. Ah, thank you so much. I think it was VPC or Hovi who gave me the sandwich there. Thanks a lot, it really helped. Gotta be careful with this. So yeah. And the problem with being on the bleeding edge of updates is that sometimes things go wrong, you know, there are bugs that haven't been patched out because everything is so new. But it's a trade-off. You kind of have to choose what you prefer to deal with. Okay, let's get Misa here. Ah, you are using the Dragon Ball Z weapon, the Energy Ball, the Genki Dama. What's the name? The Short Circuit. That's the name of the weapon. Very nice one. Hey Italu, glad to have you here on stream. Very nice, very nice. Ah, and you see there, Hey-Man is talking about Kden Live. He's also a Kden Live user. I can back up what the professor is saying from my perspective. Yeah, it is a great software. Check it out if you make videos. You don't have to pay for video editing software. You don't have to pirate. What was that? You don't have to pirate video editing software. Just use Kden Live and Kden Live and everything will be okay. Okay, that was funny. So yeah. Hey Lucas, glad to have you here, Lucas. I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. Lucas saying there in Portuguese. Very nice, my friend. And Daryl Dixon is asking how I got the purple sheen in my black box. Let's see that one. You see that purple sheen? It is I think it is a professional killstreak kit. Let me check it out. The specialized killstreak kit, because you have killstreak kits in regular, specialized, and professional tiers. And the sheen, that colored sheen, is on the specialized kits and up. So let me see here. I think I have a professional. No, this one only has a specialized sheen. You see, killstreaks active and then the sheen. Villainous Violet is the color of the sheen. So this weapon here has a specialized killstreak kit added to it. That's how I got that sheen on it. But if you want to pay a little bit more for the eye effects as well, the professional killstreak kit has the eye effects and the sheen on the weapon color. I think specialized kits are more bang for your buck because they tend to be cheaper, and the eye effects are cool from the professional one. But let me see if I don't get backstabbed now again. Here is Victory trying to get me. Yeah, you should not have jumped that there, Victory. When you jump, I can predict where you're gonna fall. But yeah, as I was saying, the professional kits have the eye effects, but they only show up after 5 kills, and you can't see the effect yourself. It's only for other people to see, kind of like unusuals. So I think that the specialized kit is a better buy because you can see the sheen, the effect. So that's what I would say to you, Daryl. Leo is saying that he's loving GIMP. I do most of my graphics in it. It's even good as basic Photoshop. Yeah, you know, most people don't do anything really fancy on Photoshop, you know, because Photoshop has some very fancy features, and it's great for that. But most people don't really use those features, you know. Most people just do basic stuff, you know, crop here, crop there, overlay one image on another, you know, that sort of thing. That's very simple. And to do that, you don't need Photoshop, you know, you don't need to pay Adobe to do that. I think what happens with those paid softwares is that people start using them either because they learned how to use it at school or something like that, or they pirated it, and then they kind of get locked on that software ecosystem because it's what they know, and they don't want to learn how to use other software to do the same thing that they already know how to do on a paid product. So because they're kind of stuck in that paid ecosystem, let me close my window here so the train doesn't bother us. There's a a train track close to my house, you know, kind of like a kilometer away or something like that. But yeah, people get stuck in that ecosystem, and then they you know, become hostages of Adobe and of those companies. So I think the best attitude towards paid software is to not even start using it, you know. Learn how to do what you have to do with free software, and you will never have to pay for software, you know. It will be very easy to do your work. So that's good, I think. Hey, hello there, Goifi! Glad to have you here on stream, my friend. If you can, join the server, come play with us. If there's room, I think there still is some room on the server. But welcome to the stream, my friend. Very nice to have you here. An Inspector is saying, I got those 6 dominations as engineer in a game with a Latino friend I met in a Virginia server. We both had quite a high ping, but we top scored together. Ah, that's wholesome. That's very nice to know, Inspector. Pretty cool, pretty cool. You know, high ping is kind of like, it's not ideal, but you can adjust to it. I myself have learned to play, I think, you know, competently with high ping because of these live streams. I'm from Brazil, and I'm either playing on a US server. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, it didn't work. I died there. I'm either playing on a US server or on an European server with from 100 something to 200 something ping, and I can manage. When I start playing, I feel the ping, you know, I notice it, but after a while I adjust and it just disappears, you know. I think that an unstable connection is a lot worse than having high ping, you know. You can work with high ping. I saw your outline there, Mikter. You gotta stay undisguised or cloaked when you are close to spawn like that, my friend. And Dark Knight has to go. Okay, you're only gonna watch now. That's fine, my friend. It was good having you here. Had a lot of fun seeing you as Heavy and as Demonite. Come play with us more often, Dark Knight, when you can. It's always awesome when you are here. Very nice. Mictor is asking there, was I a good spy? Yes, you were, Mictor, but you gotta be undisguised or cloaked when you are camping spawn. Otherwise we can see you when we spawn again. So yeah. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Misa also uses Caden Live. Yeah, it is great video editor. For free, I think it is the best one you can get, in my opinion. Mintor is already here fighting the sniper. Okay, let's see. Yeah, VPC got him. We have a scout here. I want to try to get a kill with the Bison, because I don't think I got a kill with the Bison this time. Got you there, Misa! I wasn't even trying. But my reflexes worked great for me. Very nice. Okay, let's try to jump here to fight for the point, and I'm already dead. I think we are gonna lose this one, I think. So yeah. I remain saying there, I also found the rarest generation of iPod out of all the classics. The 3rd generation. On sale with an engraved text on the back. Even rarer, for only 60 pounds. That feels like a ticking time bomb of profits. Ah, that's good, man. I hope you have that profit someday. Very nice. I think those engraved texts you could order from Apple's website, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I remember my sister had an iPod Nano, I think. One of those very small iPods. I think it was one of the last that was made. And hers had text engraved on the back because we ordered from the online store. It was kind of like an inside joke or something like that, some funny thing that she would understand. I don't remember what was engraved, but I know it had an engraving on the back. Interesting to know those are rarer. You know, it makes sense. I think most people don't want to have something engraved on their iPods. But I remember it was an option when you ordered online from Apple Store. So yeah, pretty cool, my friend. Very nice. aleatório is there. Hello there, aleatório. Glad to have you here. Lucas as well, asking how I'm doing. I'm doing fine. Just feeling hot. But I'm doing fine other than that. Dark Knight saying there, I don't like to pirate anything but Nintendo. It's actually self-defense if you do it. Yeah, the Nintendo is very trashy. Very trashy. I'm a fan of Nintendo games, but I'm not really a fan of the company, Nintendo. So I understand what you're saying there. And I feel like old games, ROMs, you know, stuff like that, it gets a pass, because it is sort of a preservation thing, you know, to dump ROMs and to keep a record of them on the internet. You know, most of those games you can't really buy anymore, and if you can, you can't buy the actual ROM. You kind of like buy an access to it. In that sense, I think that, for example, Sega does a great job, because you can buy ROMs from Sega. If you look on Steam for the Sega Genesis collection, I think, or Sega Classics collection, or Sega Mega Drive collection, I think the name changes depending on your region, but it is a collection of old games from Sega. You know, all the Sonic games on the Mega Drive, Shinobi, that good stuff, Toad and Earl, those old games. And what you're actually buying when you buy that on Steam is the ROMs. So if you buy them and download them, and then you go look for them on your PC, you will find the ROM files that you can then copy and open on other emulators, not only on the official emulator that's available on Steam. So I think that's a very good move from Sega. I wish more companies did that. Kind of like they allowed people to buy the ROMs for old games for a reasonable price. You know, those G-Man, poor G-Man, I knew you were gonna fall there, G-Man. Poor G-Man. But yeah, I wish more companies did that, like Sega. At least in that regard, they are doing a good thing. I thought I would be able to kill with the Righteous Bison there. Come on. Come on. What else are you saying there? You people are talking about the kill streak effects. Yeah, I really like Villainous Violet, you know. All of them I think look good. But I think that the one I like the least is Teen Shine. You know, the one that's red and blue. It's okay, it looks fine, but there are so many interesting colors. I think that's probably an Easter egg. I'll try no clipping there after the stream to check out what's there. Very, very interesting to know there's an Easter egg there. Come on, come on. He fell on the meat grinder, you saw that? So funny, so funny. Always nice too, when maps have environmental hazards. I really like that. Pretty cool. So yeah. And again, for those of you who don't know about killstreak kits, you have the regular killstreak kit, which doesn't have any effects. It's the cheapest one. It only counts your killstreaks. Then you have the specialized kit, which has the color sheen effect. And finally, you have the professional kit, which I got a kill there with the Righteous Bison. Nice, I got Spike Crab. You were up to something there, you with the sniper. I think you were trying to build crits. Someone else, everyone is falling into the meat grinder all the time, and it makes such a noise. Did you hear that? A sound like that. It's so funny. I really like this map. This is a great map. It should be added officially into the game. It is a shame that these maps only have the Halloween versions added into the game. Let's go in the meat grinder now. Let's... Yeah! Always nice, always nice. So yeah. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Zofex talking about Adobe products. I heard a lot of art schools will force you to buy Adobe programs and use only those. Yeah, I heard that as well. You know, I heard that some schools have a partnership with those companies, and they kind of like get software suites to handle. Yeah, but again, people, you people are you want to go into the meat grinder. There's no explanation for that. I haven't said that my game was lagging bad. Makes sense, my friend. So I heard that there are some art schools that have partnerships with those companies. And not only with Adobe, but for example, there are some 3D art schools that use Maya to teach their students. And I wish more of those educational places would use free and open source software. Would be a good thing. But yeah, kind of sucks when you are forced to use a software you don't really want to use, and there's a free alternative to it that's just as good, you know, in general terms. So yeah. Well, I think I'll be ending the stream right now, fellas. It's getting close to our time. We usually stream for about 1 hour, 50 minutes to an hour, for those of you who are new here on the channel. So thank you so much, fellas, for passing by, for joining the stream, to chat a little bit, to play, to watch and have fun. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you all have an excellent week. Here's a big heart for you, fellas. I love all of you. So thanks a lot, GG. It was fun, as Dark Knight is saying there. I hope to see you fellas again next week to have fun together and have a good time. So yeah, love you all and have a good week. Bye bye, everyone.